First thing we got to talk about today is Bash in Berlin. Now, I am currently recording this at like 4:50 on a Friday, so SmackDown has not been released yet. So everything I could say could change, and I might need to make a follow-up to this video. But we're going to talk about what is confirmed, and that is Randy Orton versus Gunther, and why I think this is a unique choice, why I think it's a great choice, and why why I'm a little confused on it. So I think this is a great choice because of the fact that at King of the Ring, Randy's shoulders weren't fully pinned to the mat. When you watch the replay, his shoulders slightly come up, so that obviously left things open-ended when Gunther beat Randy Orton in the finals of King of the Ring. That left things open-ended to get to the point to where we are now, which is now Orton's going to go for the belts. Here's why I agree with that. A, the match at King of the Ring was awesome, so this match should be awesome. But here's the reason why I'm a little iffy on it is I want to see Orton as champion. And I know I'm pretty confident. I can't say I know because I don't know. But I'm very confident that Randy Orton will not beat Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. And we're going to use Randy as a way to cement Gunther's legacy. Now, there's a few ways they can go about this. One of them benefits Randy Orton. The other is like, what the heck did we just do? Because Randy is a guy who he has not held singles gold in a while. And especially now that we're doing everything with the Intercontinental Championship with Braun Breaker, I'm not even sure if Randy's going to be holding that gold for a while. I thought the story that we were going to build to, and I'm assuming after Bash in Berlin that this is going to be the case, is Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Undisputed title. Even with that, I don't believe in having Randy be the guy to take the belt off Cody because we still have The Rock to set up. So with knowing that, right, that Randy's probably going to lose that feud because you got to set up Cody and The Rock for the belt. That's it's got to be a thing at some point. Randy's probably going to lose unless they pull a fast one on us and have Randy actually win this match, which would be crazy, and I don't know what you would do with that. But if Randy loses here, he's either going to jump into a feud with Cody Rhodes, which is going to be awesome, by the way, but then he'll probably have to lose again, or he goes back again to feud with the Bloodline, which we've seen for like over a year now, which everything with the Bloodline is great, and we're going to get to that, but I don't know if Randy fits there anymore. He could be a piece there, and I think that's honestly where we should put him, but now that we're putting him back into a title picture, if he loses here, he's just going to go right back to doing what he just did, and he just looks like a guy who can't get the job done because he lost King of the Ring, he lost the World Heavyweight Championship, he's been losing, he lost a lot of singles matches of recent, and it just makes Randy look like a guy who can't get the job done. Now, on the other hand, it makes Gunther look great, which if that's the goal is we just want to make Gunther look great, then great, right? Then that's great. But what happens is there's two ways to go here. And what I would do in this situation is if you're going to make Randy lose, here's the problem with making him go to a feud with Cody Rhodes. Although that feud will feed families, and it will be great, and I can't wait to see it, it's just not the best time. Because he's going to go from a feud with Gunther that he's going to lose into a feud with Cody, which ultimately he'll probably end up, I mean, if he beats Cody, that's a whole other animal, right? But I don't think that you're going to do Randy Orton, Cody, and have Randy Orton win the belt. Simply because of the fact that Cody Rhodes and The Rock with the title on the line, is too big of a money match. And plus, the WWE Championship has such an important role in the Bloodline story because of the fact that Roman held it for 4 years. The Rock pinned Cody. Cody's now champion. The Rock can come back because he wants a championship match. I think you need to keep the belt in the hands of Cody Rhodes until that story has been completely cemented, whenever him and The Rock finally have their thing. And then you can pull the belt fully out of the Bloodline. Right now, the Bloodline storyline has nothing to do with the belt anymore because now it has to do with Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Enter in my thoughts for Randy Orton, which is if Orton loses, whether he loses or wins at Bash in Berlin, which I'm going to predict he loses here. It's my prediction he loses. Maybe the Bloodline costs him, and that would actually be good because then we could protect him a little bit there. Orton now is inserted into Roman Reigns' dream team of Roman, Sami, Jay, Jimmy, and Orton, which would be freaking insane. That would be like Survivor Series War Games level worthy of a team. That would be crazy. Now, Sami Zayn obviously hasn't been recruited yet, but because he lost the belt to Braun Breaker, and he's been more friendly with Jey Uso, I think they're building to like a bloodline reunion and having maybe even Orton and Owens, or just Orton, or maybe just Owens enter the fray there. That is going to be incredible. Now, if you're going to make Randy win, the question is, what do we do? What do we do? Who challenges him? Do we have a rematch and Gunther wins? Does Damian Priest get his rematch and the Judgment Day screw him over? Does Seth Rollins get into the fray? Does Drew What do we do? Because Drew is occupied by Punk at the moment, and Seth Rollins just got the crap kicked out of him a couple weeks ago by Big Bronson Reed. So I don't know if maybe you do Randy versus him, or maybe you have Gunther beat Randy and you have Big Bronson Reed be built up for the World Heavyweight title contender. I'm not against that either. Big Bronson Reed is a bad dude, and sure, he hasn't been booked the best on TV, but they did a great thing with him, making him basically kill Seth Rollins the other day. They're making him feel important. You could build him up to be a contender for the title, and maybe you use him as the example of how great Gunther is by pinning him. Or maybe if Randy wins, he falls to Randy Orton, and something gets brewed from there. I don't know. But there's multiple directions they have. But at Bash in Berlin, my gut has to go with Gunther winning. Whether that's interference from the bloodline and we set that story back up, or something else happens, I think that's the story we have to tell. Now, here's what I would prefer they do. What I would prefer they do, actually, is, and I don't know why they don't do this, is have the bloodline get involved and then have Randy Orton and Kevin Owens become a tag team and go after the tag team titles. They've been basically teaming together for a while. They're called RKO, and they have real heat with the bloodline, so it would work, and you can actually make them become tag champions, and I wouldn't be opposed to that. I'd actually really like that long story. Maybe we could do the feud to WrestleMania, and like a couple of years ago when the tag teams were in the main event, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens won the belts from the bloodline. Maybe you do that again, but now this time it's Randy Orton and Kevin Owens that thwart the new bloodline. Thwart. Is that how you say it? Thwart the new bloodline, right? And that would be really cool. And then you can have, Cody beat The Rock, and Roman beat Solo. Whatever you're trying to build to, make the bloodline like fall officially. The new bloodline fall. Whatever you're trying to, that's great. There's a lot of steps we have to do to get there, though, because we have a lot of months leading up to the next big show of shows and stops along the way. So it just depends how you write and book the story. But my prediction for that is that he's going to lose. Now, I don't know if they're doing Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa at Bash in Berlin. I'm not 100% sure. That is a thing that could happen. However, I think that show isn't where it should happen. I think it should be Roman versus maybe a Tama Tonga. He has one of his henchmen do it. We get to see Roman again, but we don't get that big showdown yet. I think it's too early. It's too early for the Tribal Chief showdown. Or maybe it's not. Maybe we do the one-on-one, and that's how we set up the big, obvious Survivor Series match we're building to coming up in a couple months. Maybe that's what they do. But I'm assuming that tonight on SmackDown, that's going to be the match announced. Now, something I just thought of here is we have confirmed Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens for the Undisputed WWE Championship. Maybe what we're doing here is Randy gets jealous that Kevin Owens got a match for the Undisputed title. He loses to Gunther, right? Then he gets jealous of that, and then we start the Cody-Randy feud that way. Again, we still have the problems of Randy's just going to look like he keeps losing if he loses to Cody again after that, but that's future down the line, right? So that's a good way to set that up. So they have a lot of things that they could set up here. It's just, what are they going to do to play out their right cards? But the Bash in Berlin card looks great. All the matches are going to be phenomenal. And I'm excited to see what else they do. LA Knight is obviously U.S. champion now. We'll see what happens with that. But those are my thoughts of what's going to happen with Bash in Berlin coming up.